Hush. Oh, it's okay, sweetie.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to scare you.
Is he biting you? Did he bite you? He's never.
Serving with Miss Tiffany. Serving with Miss Tiffany. Serving with Miss Tiffany. Serving with Miss Tiffany.
Okay. Hi, friends. This is Miss Tiffany from the Miller Branch Library. This is Ralphie. He is a baby possum. He's a wild possum. He's being rehabilitated right now by a lady named April Carter. She is a wildlife rehabilitator. So I want to tell you guys about some possums. First of all, is it possum or is it possum? I'm going to tell you. So possums with an O are marsupials native to the Americas, and possums without an O are marsupials that are native mainly to Australia. What's a marsupial? Do you guys know? A marsupial is a mammal that carries their young in a pouch. Do you know any other mammals that carry their young in a pouch? Kangaroos, koala bears, they're marsupials too. Possums, when they feel threatened, there is an involuntary defense mechanism. So involuntary means they can't help it. When they feel threatened, sometimes their body will tense up. It kind of shocks it, kind of tenses up, and they'll be still for a really, really long time. And it makes the enemy or whatever is hunting it, makes them think that it's dead, and so they'll leave it alone. So sometimes your parents might say you're playing possum when they think you're trying to pretend like you're asleep, but you're really not asleep. Do you guys ever do that? Today's book is Possum Magic, and it's written by Mem Fox. If you look at it, you can see these are a different kind of possum than this one. This possum, Ralphie, is one that's native to the Americas where we live, and the possums in this book are possums without an O that are they're native to Australia. So this book actually takes place in Australia. Once upon a time, but not long ago, deep in the Australian bush lived two possums. Their names were Hush and Grandma Poss. It's okay. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Grandma Poss made bush magic. She made wombats blue and kookaburras pink. She made dingoes smile and emus shrink. But the best magic of all was the magic that made Hush invisible. Do you see her getting invisible? Yeah. What adventures Hush had? Because she couldn't be seen, she could be squashed by koalas. Because she couldn't be seen, she could slide down kangaroos. Looks like a fun slide, doesn't it? Because she couldn't be seen, she was safe from snakes, which is why Grandma Poss had made her invisible in the first place. She was trying to protect her. But one day, quite unexpectedly, Hush said, "Grandma, I want to know what I look like. Could you please make me visible again?" "Of course I can," said Grandma Poss, and she began to look through her magic books. She looked into this book and looked into that. There was magic for thin and magic for fat, magic for tall and magic for small, but the magic she was looking for wasn't there at all. Grandma Poss looked miserable. "Don't worry, Grandma," said Hush. "I don't mind." But in her heart of hearts, she did. All night long, Grandma Poss thought and thought. The next morning, just before breakfast, she shouted, "It's something to do with food. People food, not possum food. But I can't remember what. We'll just have to try and find it." So, later that day, they left the bush where they'd always been to find what it was that would make Hush sing. They ate Anzac biscuits in Adelaide, Mornay and Minties in Melbourne, steak and salad in Sydney and pumpkin scones in Brisbane. Hush remained invisible. Don't lose heart, said Grandma Poss. Let's see what we can find in Darwin. It was there, in the far north of Australia, that they found a Vegemite sandwich. Grandma Poss crossed her claws and crossed her feet. Hush breathed deeply and began to eat. A tail, shouted both possums at once, for there it was, a brand new, visible tail. You see your tail? Later, on a beach in Perth, they ate a piece of pavlova. Hush's legs appeared. So did her body. You look wonderful, you precious possum, said Grandma Poss. Next stop, Tasmania. And over the sea they went. In Hobart, late one night in the kitchens of the casino, they saw a lamington on a plate. Hush closed her eyes and nibbled. Grandma Poss held her breath and waited. It worked! It worked! She cried. And she was right. Hush could be seen from head to tail. Grandma Poss hugged Hush and they both danced Here We Go Round the Lamington plate till early in the morning. From that time onward, Hush was visible. But once a year, on her birthday, she and Grandma Poss ate a Vegemite sandwich, a piece of pavlova, and a half a lamington, just to make sure that Hush stayed visible forever. And she did. So this story took place in the country of Australia. And some of the terms, some of the food that they ate were Australian. So I'm going to go over that. The Anzac biscuits, they're traditional rolled oat and syrup cookies. Mornay is a supper dish of fish and white sauce topped with breadcrumbs and browned in the oven. Minties are peppermint-flavored nougat candies. Vegemite is a salty yeast spread used on toast and in sandwiches. I've tried that before. I had some neighbors that are from Australia, and they let me try Vegemite. I didn't think it was very good, but they love it. Pavlova, they also made me pavlova, and that was really, really tasty. It's a meringue shell. It's topped with fresh fruit and whipped cream, and a lamington is a square of sponge cake dipped in thin chocolate icing and rolled in coconut. There he is. Look at this guy. Look at him. Look at his tail. He can hang from his tail. He's just a baby. He's a little scared. He's a little tiny guy. It's okay. It's okay. Be sure and check out the other fun programming at the Fort Smith Public Library's YouTube channel.